Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about two absolute giants of world literature. I mean, these guys were friends, they were rivals, and they pretty much defined the golden age of Chinese poetry. We're talking about Bai and Du Fu.
All right, let's jump right in. This is the perfect starting point because it lays out the fundamental difference between these two. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got Bai, the celestial. This is the guy reaching for the heavens, writing about freedom, fantasy, transcendence. And then on the other side, you have Du Fu, the sage. His feet are planted firmly on the ground. He's all about duty, reality, and what it means to be human.
So who were these guys, really? I mean, you can't overstate their influence on Chinese culture. It is just massive. They both lived during the Tang Dynasty, which isn't just an important period. It's considered the absolute peak, the golden age of Chinese poetry. And when we say golden age, we mean it. The Tang Dynasty was this incredible explosion of arts and culture. And Bai and Du Fu, they weren't just the best poets of their day. No. They became the yardstick, the standard. For more than 1,000 years, every single Chinese poet who came after them has been measured against these two. Okay, let's zoom in on our first guy, Bai. Honestly, he feels more like a myth than an actual person. He was this wild, romantic wanderer, and his whole life was basically a quest for freedom. And you know what? He totally leaned into this image. He created this larger-than-life persona for himself, calling himself the poet immortal. The story he spun was that he wasn't really human at all, but a celestial being kicked out of heaven for some small mistake. And the crazy part is, his life and his poetry, they completely backed up this otherworldly vibe. So, let's break down what made him tick. And the key to everything is his philosophy. He was a Taoist. Now, Taoism is all about going with the flow, following the natural way of the universe. That means you reject all those stuffy rules and embrace spontaneity. So you can see how that worldview perfectly fuels his whole persona, right? The romantic, hard-drinking wanderer, it all makes sense. His poetry is filled with nature, freedom, wine, moonlight, friendship, all the good stuff. In the end, his entire life was aimed at one thing: escaping the boring, everyday world. And this quote? It just captures his spirit perfectly. It's from one of his most famous poems. Think about it. He's all alone, but is he sad? Nope. He just makes friends with the universe. He's like, hey moon, hey shadow, let's have a drink. He literally turns being alone into this amazing cosmic party. That is Bai in a nutshell.
All right, now let's do a complete 180 and talk about Du Fu. If Bai had his head in the clouds, Du Fu had his feet buried in the mud. He was the complete opposite, a grounded realist whose entire life's work was to write about the pain and suffering of the world around him.
Yeah, Du Fu had zero interest in escaping reality. In fact, he ran straight towards it. He took all of his incredible talent and poured it into documenting what he saw with this raw, unflinching honesty. He wasn't some immortal tourist. He was more like a poet historian, capturing every little detail of his time.
And here's the crucial difference. His philosophy was Confucian, which is pretty much the polar opposite of Bai's Taoism. See, Confucianism is all about duty, morality, social order. Your purpose is tied to your role in your family and in society. That's why his identity as this careful, meticulous civil servant was so important to him. So forget moonlight and wine. Du Fu's themes were family, injustice, the absolute horror of war, and the struggles of everyday people. For him, poetry wasn't a fun escape. It was a serious moral duty. It was his way of bearing witness to history.
And you can just feel the heaviness in this quote, can't you? He wrote this after the capital was sacked during this huge rebellion. He's not making things up. He is watching his entire world crumble. And he captures this devastating contrast between nature, which just keeps going, and the broken human world. It's just powerful stuff.
So you've got these two guys who are total opposites, right? The dreamer and the realist, the celestial and the sage. So what in the world happened when their paths finally crossed? Well, their friendship was short, but it became the stuff of legend. So in 744, Bai is already a superstar, a total rock star of the poetry world. He meets this younger, still unknown poet named Du Fu, and they just hit it off immediately. For about a year, they traveled together, drank together, wrote poems together. It was this perfect golden moment. Right before a devastating civil war, the An-Lushan rebellion just blew their world apart and separated them for good. And that rebellion, that's what really sealed the deal on their legacies. It's fascinating, really. You have the exact same national catastrophe, but When it's filtered through these two totally different guys, you get two completely different kinds of poetic genius. Li Bai, always the individual, wrote about his own bad luck, his personal exile. But Du Fu? He became the conscience of the nation, writing about the trauma of an entire people.
Okay, so let's get to our final section. How is it that these two poets, who were so different, ended up creating this single powerful legacy that lasts to this day?
Well, here's the key takeaway. In the grand scheme of Chinese literature, people don't really see them as rivals. They see them as two halves of a whole, the two halves of poetry's soul. They represent the two extremes of what poetry can do. On one hand, you have unbound imagination, and on the other, you have this deep, profound empathy for humanity. And this final comparison just lays it all out so clearly. You've got the spontaneous Taoist versus the duty-bound Confucian, the theme of individual freedom versus the theme of shared suffering, a grand romantic style versus a realistic, somber one. At the end of the day, Li Bai's legacy is the power of imagination, how it helps us escape. Du Fu's legacy is the power of witnessing, how it connects us to each other. Together, they really do cover the entire spectrum of what it means to be human.
Which brings us to a final question for you to think about. In our own kind of crazy, turbulent times, which voice do you think we need more? The dreamer, who helps us escape it all, or the realist, who forces us to look right at it? The one who lifts us up, or the one who grounds us in our shared reality? Something to chew on.